creating your weighted gradebook, you can convert them back and forth once you do it that one time in your course. So this time we're going to leave everything the same, but we're going to select weighted and click save. And yes, yes. Okay, so now I'm going to close it out and go back to manage grades, and then we have all these different notes that we need to do and take care of. It's telling me that there are 6 items that I need to take care of in order to make this grade book be at 100% weighted. If you look closely at the categories, by default, each one of these categories, the system charged it with 10 points apiece, right? Well, to make this accurate, that means the grade book needs to have all the categories must equal 100%. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll make the attendance and participation. We're going to make that instead of it being weighted 10%, we'll put it at 20 and we'll do save and close. Okay, and we're going to scroll down and make this discussion. We're going to start doing the categories first because it is easier for you to understand when you have categories. The total of them must be 100, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go here and change this one to 20 points and do save and close. Okay, so we've 20, 40, so we have 60 points to go. So let's just make it simple and do 20 for all of them. See that? The system lets you know when you make a mistake. I'm going to scroll down again, count again, 20, 40. I have 60 here, 100. So I'm going to go here, make the written assignments. 20 points weighted, excuse me. And we're going to scroll down here to the final exam and do the same thing. Got a good time. Great questions. 20 and do save and close. So now out of the 6 points instructions, now we're down to 5. Now this is the challenge for some, or it may not be. I know not for some of the math instructors, but if you look here, we have all our categories, which now equals 100 together, 100 total points together, which is 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 out of the 5 categories we've had. So that piece is done. Now what we need to do, we need to make sure every item, grade item that's under the category, their weight items equal 100 as well. So as you can see, now don't get it confused with the maximum points. Maximum point has nothing to do with the weighted item. Okay, so for attendance, since it's one item, that means this 10 will turn into 100 by itself because it doesn't have any sharing rights with anyone else. So it's all alone. So we're going to scroll down and change the weight to 100 and click save and close. Okay. And as you can see, now we have 4 notes to build. So it's telling us your discussions are at 40%, not 100. Your quizzes are at 30, not 100. Your written assignment is at 10 and not 100, and so on and so forth. Okay. So now that we have our attendance, which is 20%, and then the weight has already been corrected, which is 100. So we're done there. Now we need to do something about the 4. So we have 20, 40, 10, 20, 30, 40, right? So what we want to do here, we want to go here, and I'm going to show you a little trick. I'm going to go here to edit. We all know that the 4 of them should be 25, 25, and 25. I heard someone come in, so we all know that since it's 4 items, and we can easily just add 25, 25, 25, and 25, but I want to show you that the system can do that for you. And by clicking on it, scroll down, and you want to distribute all weights amongst the category. And then you click Save and Close. And once you do that, you'll see that the system has added the 25 points for us. If you look closely here for the quiz tool, which it states up here, it talks about it's 30%, not 100. So what we're going to do for the quiz tool, we're going to do the same thing we did for the discussions. We're going to go to the drop-down arrow, click on Edit. And when you click on Edit, you're going to scroll down page, distribute weight by points in all items. And yes, we're going to do that. And you'll notice that the system did that for me, and that's why I wanted to make a uneven grade item and category, so that you can see that the system will calculate it for you with no problem. So, and let me go to one other place where I can show you where you can finish this. Even to work smarter in the gradebook, you would go to, you would select all rows. If you hover over this little box here, it tells you select all rows. That's what that means. So I want to go here to bulk edit, and I want to take care of these 2 items without having to click on the drop down each time. Okay. I'm going to click on bulk edit, and I'm going to scroll down, and you'll notice that by looking at this bulk edit, this is just your grade book with your categories here in your grade items. Same thing here for the discussions. Number 3 is your discussion category with your 4 grade items. You have the quiz category with the 3 grade items. So now for the written assignments, it's 20%, but I have 1, so I can easily go here and put in the 0 to make it 100. For the final exam, it's 20% of their grade, but it's not at a weight of 100, so I need to put that 100 in there. And then I will click Save and Close, or Save. Remove that. So if you look now with the weighted grade book, the weighted grade book is cleaned up. It's nice and neat, and it's aligned with a syllabus, and it still has all the appropriate items as if you were in a point system. Okay. As I mentioned earlier, you will see things that I will not cover. That's because it's not necessary when you're at an early stage of building your grade book. We can have an advanced session later, but for the most part, once you build your grade book in the system, it stays that way. Typically, you don't touch your grade book for years at a time unless you want to add items to your grade book, and you simply do that by going to the items and adding your items that way. But for the most part, this is how you build a point system, and this is how you build a weight system gradebook. So let's go in here and let's do some playing around in the intergrades area. Okay, I'm going to set it back to points. Depending upon, and I love the fact once you build it, when you work with your chair or your coordinator with the syllabus and your point system and grade items and things of that nature, you can choose to select which grade book is appropriate for you in the department, or they may give you the flexibility to do that. So we're going to go here. I have 1 student in here, Denzel Washington. So what we're going to do, we talked earlier about the discussions, and remember we dropped the lowest grade. So what I'm about to do now is show you how to add points to your grade book. Okay, so I'm going to go here to the switch to spreadsheet view. This is your friend. Okay, so you click on this when it's time for you to add grades, and if you're teaching on ground, you go back to teaching on ground, you can use this as a spreadsheet. So attendance, we'll say if this is the end of the semester, he came 90% of the time. Okay, this discussion he earned a 70, this one he earned a 40, this one he earned a 9, and this one he earned a 10, right? And I guess you say, okay, well, Kim, well, where is the lowest grade? How do we know if that's dropped? And I'll show you that in a second. I'm going to put some scores in here first so we can see what it looks like when it starts calculating up. And the career report, got a 95. Final exam. Had a 94. In the midterm progress, that will calculate, give them up to 7 bonus points. So we're going to scroll here. And I'm going to click save so we can see how many points he's earned. And I'm going to switch it back to spreadsheet view, to the standard view, excuse me. I'm going to switch it back to standard view so you can see. So if you look closely at the gradebook, Denzel earned 344 points out of 370, right? So if you look here, where are my discussions? Did I turn it on? Oh, I know what I need to do. It doesn't work in this one. Let me move this over. Switch it back to this one. Which it should. I don't know why I didn't, but I'll explain that in a second. Why I didn't do that. Okay, let's go here and look now at the gradebook and see. Okay. It still doesn't have my little eye. I wonder why. See what happened and why I did that. It was supposed to drop my lowest grade. Oh, okay. I did it for the points, but I still didn't see it. I wonder why. I have to check on that. But this is it. This is the point of what I was trying to let you guys see. If you look at discussion 1, discussion 2, discussion 3, discussion 4, what that shows you, this little symbol here is a drop symbol. That means that out of all his discussions, he earned a 4 out of 10 on this one. So therefore, the drop symbol dropped it for him. Okay. It kind of threw me off. I don't want that. Okay. So, but that's what it looks like when you drop one of the students' lowest grade. Let me switch it back to the point system. I kind of like that better too. Gotta figure that out because it's not good for me. Do that. Sorry about that, you guys. Okay. Let me go see what happened here. Oh, it's there. I wonder why it didn't show up. Let me drop the lowest for the quizzes and see what it does. It should be there too. Nope. I'll try it out. All right, save and close. I'm not sure why I did that. We'll have to find out why. Yeah, okay. Maybe I was just going too fast. I don't know. But anyway, again, the discussion category, you have 1 through 2, 3, 4 discussions, and the lowest discussion was dropped. And we had 3 quizzes, and they dropped one of the lowest quizzes. So that's what it looks like when you drop one of the lowest grades. Okay. You may have noticed, and I like the point system because it's clean. And it gives you the actual points of what the students have earned. And if the student wanted to see their gradebook, this is how they would view it. They would click on preview. If you go right to Denzel's name and click on preview, and you would get this pop-up box. And this is what the students see. They see that they have 331 points out of 350, and they see all their scores in which they've completed their assignments, and they also see the last item that was dropped. Okay, so that's how we build a simple grade book. Let me talk about the export, some of these features up here that are important, especially at the end of the semester. You will need to make sure you export your final calculated grade or your grade book to your department chair. So this is how you would do that. Once all your grades have been posted in the system, you would go here to this export tab, click on export. When you click on export, two of the most important things you need to make sure you have in that page is the student's first name and last name. Now I have seen it where the student's name was not selected, so you just double check that to make sure that's there. And this is checked by default. So the only thing you need to do is click on export to Excel or CSV. And once it downloads for you, and it says complete, you do download. And what I like to do is save it as a PDF. And when you save it as a PDF, it allows everything to stay the same, and you can name it. Where is it? There's coming up. It's coming. Come on. You guys see the PDF? Wait a minute. Make sure. This is the PDF file. This is the PDF file that was open. You see the student's grade, every page, and their final grade. And of course, when you have more students, you know, it looks a little different. But just from this one student, you see everything at the end, and their final calculated grade is here, 94.6. So what I tell faculty to do is take this file, and I ask them to save it, and you do save as, depending upon what you have on your desktop, whether it's Adobe or not. What you do, you want to go here and click on desktop, open, and what you do, you can name your folder, and it can be end of the semester turn-ins. It's for each one of your courses, and this will make your life easy. And what you would do, you would take this and you would rename it. And typically what I would do is take this file and name it. Okay, no, I'll put the class first. I'll put read 0810 L01. Excuse me. Make sure this is correct. L01. And then I'll do my first initial last name. And I would make this be spring 2020. That's how you would name it. You would click on that end of the semester folder, click open. I guess you can't see it. I always forget about that piece. And you click save. So once you click save, your Excel file will be in your end of the semester folder. So you want to always try to save this piece as a Adobe PDF file, okay? So I'm going to do this and go back to the course. Where is it? Okay. So now that we've exported it out, it's real simple. And if you have any questions, you know, any one of the DE staff members can help you with this piece. This is a very important piece as the end of the semester approaches and when you're trying to turn in your grades. Now, the banner export feature is not officially working properly right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to stay away from this piece right now because your gradebook has to be in a certain format. And until we get the kinks worked out, you cannot export to Banner. Okay, in the spreadsheet we talked about the hide and show columns and export to Banner event log. All these things, this piece here is fine the way it is, the way you can hide your columns in your gradebook if you want to keep your subtotal columns from showing, but it all depends upon your comfort level. You don't need to keep them I typically turn mine off because I have a weighted gradebook, but with the point system, as you look very carefully, you can see the subtotal columns, they don't take up too much room. But if you find that your gradebook is extensively long, you can go here to hide and show, and you'll see where I can just turn off each one of my subtotals for my categories. Okay, and that helps your gradebook shortens a little bit. And this is what your gradebook would look like, and it'll give you a little message, like it bosses you around a little bit and tell you what you've done wrong and what you shouldn't do. But yeah, you'll notice that the subtotal columns, they've been deleted. Where they've disappeared, they have not been deleted. So I'm gonna go back and turn them back on. But for the most part, depending upon, like I said, your comfort level, if you want to keep them on, sometimes I like to see my students and what they're doing and progressing. And if I need to make some major changes to the course or an assignment, I like to see the subtotal columns. But it all depends how long your gradebook is. Okay. I believe, and I think everything within me, I've covered everything that you needed to know about both point system and the gradebook. And typically, I know this like the back of my hand. I don't see anything that I didn't cover. Let me make sure. In the managed grades. Yeah, we got everything there. And if you're in your managed grade, sometimes for whatever reason the system is not built for you to know your total score in the managed grades area, but what you can do to know the maximum points that you've created, if you continually to keep it aligned with your syllabus, you will know here in your final calculated grade column that is 350 points in this entire course. Okay, and then you can also view it by looking at your students' grades as well. And you'll see the 350 points. Okay, this is the simple format of building a point system in a weighted gradebook. Now we have about 30 minutes or so. We're gonna open up for questions for those of you that have questions. And let me now.
I have a question.
Okay, go right ahead. Who am I speaking with? Oh, Susan. Who am I speaking with?
Cynthia.
Cynthia.
Elliot.
Hey, Cynthia. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, I have a question. When you give, I give assignment, a project every semester, and sometimes I give bonus points that they can get more than 100 points on their assignment, on their project. So I did this past semester, and it wouldn't allow me to put over 100. Like one person made 110 points on her project, but it wouldn't allow me to go greater than 100.
Oh, did you turn on the feature extend beyond final calculated grade?
It's possible I didn't.
Okay, and then first let me back up. Let me ask you this. How many points do you have in your class for you to give someone 100 on an assignment? Do you have over like 500 points? You have 1,000 points? Because 100 points is a lot of points, bonus points. Depending upon now,
No,
see
no,
the
no.
bonus.
The bonus points were 10 points.
Oh, okay. You said 100.
No, the assignment itself was 100 points.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Okay.
they did perfect plus the 10 points bonus.
Oh, okay. Well, did you have that bonus in a category?
I just try to include it in the assignment And it
Yeah,
would,
you should have made a bonus item the way I showed you in the managed grades area. You see this bonus. Hold on, let me show my screen. I always forget about that. Share my screen. You see here, Cynthia and everyone, where I did create this bonus item. This bonus item, it should be a standalone and it adds to the student's grade. So if I go here and take out these 10 points, cross my fingers. So the student has 331 points, right? I did include his bonus item, right? So let me go here and take it out and just to show you, Cynthia, that if I take out these 7 points, I should have at least 224. Let's go here and change this and take it out. Oh, nope, not there, sorry. Brain is moving fast. Just flip the spreadsheet view, go over here, and I'm going to take this authentic learning assignment out, right, and just leave it. And I'm going to go back over to my left, Cynthia, and click save. And yes. You see how his score went down to 324? So what that means, Cynthia, is as long as you have your Gradebook built in a fashion where your bonus items is an actual bonus item, and when you go in here and you scroll down and you select bonus and click save and close, as long as you have that turned on and it's outside of a category, it should properly calculate for you. So if I wanted to give Denzel 10, let's go back. I'm going to go back to integrates. And if I decide to award him 10 points for his authentic assignments, it should go back up. Click save. And the same thing should happen. It should be 334 points, in which it did calculate correctly. I would need to see your gradebook to kind of see what's going on with you and why it didn't calculate properly. But yes, it's typically added at the end. I typically do my bonus points at the end to make sure.
so a quick question. You know how you have your career report and you have 100 points there? If the person made 110 points, you would not put it under your career report. You would put it at bonus.
You can, what you could do, it wouldn't be labeled as bonus to them or to you. So to keep your grade, remember I talked about it at the beginning, keep your grade book simple and accurate and aligned to your syllabus. If you wanted this career report to extend over 100, that's like an advanced piece. So you would go here and do, now I gotta go to the grade item. Go to the grade item and do edit. And it should be a feature in here that tells you that you can exceed. Okay, so I'm going to click save. So if you ever turned on this feature here? Many faculty don't use this, but this feature is here, and I've explained it in some cases on one-on-one sessions where they wanted to extend that particular assignment. So for this career report, let's just say if I wanted to extend over 100 points, I need to turn that on, and then I would go back to whatever I gave Denzel in that grade item. Let me scroll over and show you. I go back, switch this so you can see, and then I'll switch it back real quick. So I'm going to scroll down here, Cynthia, and you'll see that he earned a 95. And let's just say if I wanted to give him 20 points, let's just say 20 and see what happens. Since I selected the can exceed, I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to just add 20 extra points to this. 20 is 5. Okay. Save. So when I click this, scroll back over, and we go to the written assignment, It still should give it more points. Let me see what his grade is. 339. Did that go up? It's supposed to let you exceed.
I think it
Yeah,
did.
it did. It did because it was at 223, 24 before. Okay. Yeah. So, but that's how it works, Cynthia. When you are creating a grade item, you make sure you turn all those different features on. Um, I barely have faculty want to use that feature, but that was a great question. And that's how you would do it. You would go to that particular grade item that you want to exceed. And when you go to edit, scroll down and you just turn that on and click save and it'll do it for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next question.
Kim,
Yes.
this is Beverly Saki.
Hi, Beverly. How are you?
Hi, doing fine, Kim. Thank you so much. I have a question under grading. Is there a feature that will show the student the question that they missed? Let's say the maximum points was 100, they have 98, so they missed one 2-point question.
You're talking about a quiz, aren't you?
Uh-huh. And
Which you
if you
not
can
which
you
what I'll
can
do is I'll talk about that in the quiz tool
oh okay.
because
I can
because
wait.
that's a setting that you would
It's in the
set
quiz.
in the quiz too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you wanted them to get a certain amount of points for a question and you wanted, and if it was wrong or whatever, you would work in that particular tool to take
Okay.
care of that problem. But
All right then.
what you put in your grade book is actually what you want them to have.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. I'll
You have
wait.
another question?
That's it.
Okay. Next question.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. This is Pooja. I have a question regarding the quizzes. When we grade them after, like, I had put the answers already in the quiz, that was automatic. So one student wanted to see
I
where.
think hold on, Dr. Pooja. Someone has their can you please mute your mic? Whoever has their mic on, please mute it so I can hear her question. Thank you. Okay, go ahead and start over, Pooja.
Yeah. Actually, it is concerning to the quizzes. One last time I went on to give in a quiz for my lecture exam 3 to the students, and that wasn't automatically graded. And one of the student wanted to look back at the quiz, like where did he or she went wrong. So I couldn't find out the option, or like it was like they were like automatic answers they asked from me, but I
Yeah.
find out like how to make the the wrong answers, or the where did he put an answer,
Right.
make them available to see.
Right. So, like I just spoke with Beverly Misaki about
If,
the quiz tool, that is a quiz tool question, and I will be conducting that training this week as well. So, don't want to take away from the gradebook session and don't answer the question because that will allow me to go back to the quiz and start talking about things that people are not familiar with. I want to start it fresh. So, can you save that question for the quiz tool because that is a quiz tool feature and I can show you exactly where it is, but I want to take care of those individuals that has official gradebook questions.
sure, sure.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Uh, Yeah, I have one more question.
Okay.
Yeah, can you please explain the export and export to banner? You just explained one more time, please.
Well, right now, the feature is not working, basically. It's not working properly, so we don't want to introduce that to faculty until we get things taken care of through the IT department and within D2L as well. It's not working properly. So that's why we're not introducing it. We did a test run on it and everyone's class has to be the same, and we've been getting complaints about faculty not wanting to see the F grades and the D grades in the colored scheme. So we're not covering that feature, which it'll cause a lot of chaos at this time. Until we get those kinks worked out, we won't be covering that feature because it was a new feature that was trying to do a test run last fall, And we did a test run and there were some issues with it. So until everyone gets together and we work out all the issues, we won't be able to launch that. And you will be, I can tell you, you will be happy if you stay with the simple gradebook export feature and just turn in your grades at this time, because it'll be a lot of confusions. But sorry about that. But we will send information out when that feature is readily and available to faculty.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
No, that's all.
Okay. Next question.
Hi, Kim. This is Cheryl Green. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you, Cheryl?
Well, I am well.
Great,
I have
great.
a question. How do I delete something that's in the grade book that I don't want there?
Remember when I told you when it's associated with the tool, you go back to that tool and turn it off? I said that earlier, but let me show you. Let me see if I have something attached in one of my courses that I can show you. I don't have it in this one. But yeah, and since we haven't covered the discussion, the quizzes, all the assignments tool, that's where we talk about that feature. But since it's a link to the gradebook, let me go and show you in the STAR course. So I believe here I have when I went over the gradebook earlier and I talked about being associated, you see here, Cheryl, where the quiz 1 is associated. You see the word up here is associated with the quiz tool, and this is associated with the Dropbox assignment or the assignments tool. You can't delete these because it's associated. And when I stated that earlier, that means you would have to go back to that particular assignment to turn this off, to delete it. So for example, everyone, what Cheryl is talking about, if I go here and click on delete, the gradebook is pretty smart. It won't let you delete things unless they're free. So you'll notice that this here is shaded out. It won't let me click in, but it'll let me click for quiz 2 and quiz 3, and it won't let me click the box next to the reflections 1, but it will allow me to do reflections 2 and the academic progress. So I can delete all those items that doesn't have this little mark here that says this is associated. So it's associated with the written assignment feature, and then the quiz 1 is associated with the quiz 2. So what we would have to do, Cheryl, is go back to, in this course, we will go to assignments, and I will look for a reflection 1. Where's reflection 1? Now put it in here. It must be this one here because it's a grade item. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to do edit assignment. And when I scroll down, you see here, Cheryl, where it says grade item.
Yes.
So what I would do is go up to the top and scroll up and change that to none. And when I click none, I'll change it to none. I'll do save and close, right? So I will go back to my gradebook to verify that. And go to manage grades, where we go to build. And if I look closely at my first written assignment, which was reflection 1, it has disappeared because I went to the actual tool to turn it off. And I was going to talk about that feature tomorrow, but because it's a delete question, that's something that I needed to cover. Okay. So, but once you build your gradebook, you don't want to delete it. But if you're rearranging someone else's course and you don't like what they have, and you say, okay, I don't want this quiz connected to this quiz, then you would need to go back to this quiz to find out which one it is. And how you can tell that is if I go to edit it'll tell you which quiz is associated with right here. This grade item is associated with quiz 1. So that means that we would have to go back to the quiz tool, go to the quiz, go to the restrictions area, and turn off that grade item and change it to none, or choose a grade item. It's different for the quiz and the Dropbox. But I don't want to get too deep into those tools because I want to make sure I have enough time and coverage for the gradebook. You
Thank
understand?
you so
You understand it now? Okay,
Yes,
great.
thank you so much.
Okay, you're quite welcome. Next question.
Hey, Kim.
Hey.
Hey, this is Baricia Pitts. Thank you for this. This is my first time teaching and first time teaching online. So this information is very helpful.
Great.
2 questions. First question, can you show again where the syllabus are so I can make sure that my syllabus is lining up with, or my gradebook is aligning with my syllabus?
Okay, so when I talked about syllabus, I was talking about your own individual syllabus, whatever your department syllabus is. Okay, so if you got hired and they say, okay, here's your information, here's your textbook, here's your syllabus, you would take that syllabus and align it with this gradebook. Okay, now if you're teaching a fully online class, you would go through the process of creating an accessible syllabus like I have here. Okay. All I did was take the departmental syllabus that they gave me manually in a Word document, and I copied and pasted, and I created this syllabus online. And I made sure that whatever I had in my gradebook, whatever it was, I made sure I aligned it with my Paul's gradebook. So when I say syllabus, it's your departmental syllabus. It wouldn't be a syllabus that I would give you or show you. It would be something that you would already have had. And then we can work with you if you want to build one of these and make it accessible. We can do that. But for right now, this is what we have.
Okay, so I had to create my own syllabus.
Okay.
And so I can use what I created, but I didn't know if I needed to copy it to Paul's, to put it in Paul's.
Yeah, you always want to have a syllabus. I've seen syllabus done 2 ways, and because of the COVID situation, I do not pressure any of the faculty about their syllabus. As long as you have it in the accessible create file, I will be showing that feature tomorrow.
Okay.
How to create your syllabus and put it inside the getting started module. And it will be accessible, and just copy and paste what's in your Word file and put it in your create file in the module area, and it will be acceptable, other than trying to go through here, because either way you still got to copy and paste. So yeah, you would use your syllabus, and as long as you have the correct percentages and grade items listed, that's what the students hold us accountable for, you know. So you want to make sure you have those items where you want them.
And you're training on that tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be training on the content tools. You know what? I'm so busy. I don't even know. Let me look real quick. Kindle, or let me look real quick. Let me see. Okay. Just give me 1 second for it to load, and I'll show you.
Content is tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. Okay.
Mhm.
It's tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was right. It's tomorrow.
I want to make sure that I attend that as well. My last question, is it possible that you can check to see if I did my gradebook correctly?
I can check that once we get off the call.
Well, not today.
Oh, yeah.
At some later day.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I'll set up a team meeting with you, just whatever day is good for you, and I'll look at my calendar and see if we don't have conflicting schedules, and we will set up a time, and sure, I can show you.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. Next question.
This is Julia Goodwin. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. I wanted to know, once you've built the gradebook, you build it under a class. Do you have to do the very same thing for another class that's just like it?
Great question. No, you do not. We have a help desk system where you would submit a ticket, and you would tell the digital learning team that I have Math 1010. I have created my weighted grade book for my first section. I will be teaching 4 more of those sections. And what you would do, you would put the CRNs, those 5-digit numbers, or Math 1010 and the sections, the 4 sections, and they will copy the content from the grade book, from the course where you created the content. So no, you do not need to do that manually. We have some features that we use on the back end to copy those into your course successfully.
Well, I have 2 classes and I did both of them separately, so I'm glad to know that for next time.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome. Next question. Next question.
I have one last question.
Okay.
This is Cynthia again. So once you update your grading system, it seems like I have to do this every semester. Is it something that I'm not doing correctly, or I mean, once I put it in, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. And it seems like every semester I have to update my all my classes as far as the grading system.
Okay, so now Cynthia, you're gonna do this. You're gonna do this in front of everybody. So
Oh,
why
don't
don't you?
do it for that.
Well,
We'll do a one-on-one session.
okay, so what I need to say this so that everybody will know if there's some questions following. So Cynthia is using an integrated piece from a publisher. Okay, so Cynthia has to work with the publisher to make sure her grade book is correct, and then work with Kendall and Teresa to make sure that her grade book is synced correctly. You're not doing the simple standard grade book like the standalone. You're having an integrated piece of your grade book integrated in 2PAWS. So that's why you have to do that, because you selected to use the publisher, which is not bad, but you selected it. So you got to take the good with the bad. But yeah, you have to Teresa and Kendall, you guys can correct me, but typically when you do an integration piece, my girls know that they go in and they turn that on for you. Once they get with the publisher and you submit your ticket, your grade book would be fine. But yes, you would need to do that every semester, unless you were like me, where you have your grade book already set up and all they do is copy my content into my course each semester, and it's set for life. Did I answer your question? Got you. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Great.
Like you say, you take the good with the bad.
Yes, you have to when you make your decisions with publishers and things like that. So, but yeah. But we're willing to help now. The girls, they'll take care of you, but they'll have to reach out. And sometimes there are complications with the syncing of the grade book. So, yeah, just get your ticket in and you'll be taken care of for sure.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Hi, Kim. This is Debbie Kaylaher. Just wanted to double check the test that we need to take for this session is located in the DEIT course and PAWS. Is that correct?
Now, I remember seeing you at my trainings before. So let me say this. Let's go here. I don't want to show your information to everyone, but have you started taking the tests and quizzes at all?
Yes. Most of them I had last August through, last August. I only missed one, but I just thought I'd just go back through them all.
Yeah, so it sounds like you've been in the faculty development course. You didn't start we just opened the new one up this semester. So you wouldn't be in the brand new OTC. You would go back to the faculty development course and finish that out.
And that's the one that's listed as DEIT?
Yes.
Okay.
If that's where you started. because if you go to the new one, it will be empty. And the thing is, they don't transfer over. They don't sync together. So when you go in one course and take some quizzes, and then you go to another and take the remaining 7 quizzes, then they don't combine. You would need to finish up in one course.
And
so
then I
just
only need to take the one that I missed last fall, or should I go ahead and just take them all?
no.
Again? I'm doing them
Well,
now.
the badges will show you. For instance, when you go in here, if I
Where
go
do
in,
I find the badges? Maybe that's the question.
so I'll show you. This is a great question too. That way everybody will know. Though for those of you that took the Gradebook training, yes, go into the OTC course. But let me explain this to her first. So what you would do and what it looks like when you're finished. I was going to get to that at the end, but since you asked the question,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, that's okay. So if you look here, these are the badges. These are the 10 quizzes that I've taken, right?
What
And then
tab
this,
is that under class list awards?
yes, you go to assessments, click on awards.
Assessments. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, yeah. And you can see your own awards and then the system alerts you. It tells you that you've successfully completed a badge and you've earned a badge for a particular quiz. It should tell you that. And then once you see these badges and you click on your certificate, it'll tell you what day and when it expires, the day you took it and time and everything and what you've earned. And then you can also generate your certificate, okay, here at the bottom. So,
okay.
But that's how that works. And this is what it should look like when you're finished. But for those of you, while we're on that topic, that means I don't need to cover it at the end. So if you've taken this training and you've never taken a quiz, I will need you to go into the OTC. Just type in OTC, or it should be already pinned at the top of your course. And if you go down here and you read these instructions, it will give you some detailed instructions on what you need to do. Okay? So read both of these thoroughly and what it actually is telling you to go here to content. And when you go to content, this is the OTC module with all the different trainings that we've taken. If you want a little bit more on managed grades, you will see some features in there that we don't have turned on for specific reasons. So just if you have any questions, just contact us and let us know. But for the most part, what I've covered today is what you would need to do to create your gradebook. Now, to get to your quizzes, if you've taken this training and you felt like you understand it, you would go to quizzes, assessments, and go to quizzes. And as you click on quizzes, you would scroll down and you would take the grade tool quiz. When you click on that, you just take the quiz. Unlimited is offered unlimited times for you. You need to make an 80 or higher to earn a badge for that. Is that it? Okay, next question. We have another question. We have about 3 more minutes, or another hour and a half. Hello, do you guys have any more questions?
I don't, Kim.
Okay.
I don't either.
Okay, if you guys don't have any questions, we're finished. Practice your gradebook and see what you can come up with. And if you need to make an appointment with me and one of my staffs, we can.
Thank you so much, Kim.
Thank you.
Kim, this was excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Stay healthy.
Great.
Welcome.
Thanks, Kim.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Kim. Awesome
You're welcome.
job.
Thank you, babe.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Kim, Bill
Maryland.
Wepner here. Can you hear
Is
me?
now exiting.
Yes, I can hear you, Bill.
We lost power here at my house about 5 minutes ago, so I missed any last minute instructions. Do we prepare to take a quiz on this material between now and tomorrow, or
Yes.
is that further down the road?
You can prepare to do it tonight, Bill. As I was explaining, have you taken any of the quizzes at all?
Yes, I took the very first one that was the not this format, but the other one that's the videos are maybe a minute and a half long, and there's several of them, and then you take a quiz at the end. I've taken one of that first segment.
So what you would do, Bill, since you have attended the Gradebook tool, you can go ahead and go to, if you can see are you on a phone or are you on the computer?
I'm on my phone now because
so
I've lost power.
Okay, so yeah, so what you would do is go back to that same location and you would go to assessments and click on quizzes and take the manage grades quiz. Okay.
All right. Well, I'll try it and then let you know how it goes tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks very much.
You're quite welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Any more questions? If you guys don't have any questions, you can log out.
Exiting.
Bye-bye, Kim. Thanks for everything.
Okay, Belinda. Take care. Stay safe and well.
All right. Same to you.
I have a question.
Who is I?
I'm sorry, my name's Loretta.
Oh, okay. Okay. Hi, Loretta.
How are you doing today? Thanks for taking our time to teach us. This is my first time doing an online course, and I was calling about, you mentioned something about the categories. Is that are those categories basically unlimited? You can create as many categories as you can.
No. What you need to do is follow your syllabus. You need to align it with your syllabus, because you need to make sure if you're going to have writing assignments, you're going to have discussions, you're going to have quizzes, exams, whatever lab work, you create that type of category. So if you're in a class where you have labs and you teach microbiology, so what you want to do is have a category called labs, and then you would make all your grade items, lab 1, lab 2, lab 3, or blood lab, or bones lab, or whatever you want to call your labs, but you make one category. Typically a class will have 4 to 6 categories. Okay. You know what I mean? You won't, because if you think about it, once you start putting your grades items in there, your grade books stretch out so long. Right. Yeah, so you want to just align everything with your syllabus for best practices.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. And one more question. I teach a math class, and I was on my lab. That's through Parsons, and it's always set up on the computer with that. I mean, it's because it automatically calculates the grades and everything.
Oh, okay. Well, you through Pearson? You're using Pearson integration?
Yes.
Well, you should be set. Your publisher will be able to guide you alongside your coordinator, because the math department, we never typically worry about the math department. They always have everything set up, on their own, and you would get with your coordinator and work with your coordinator.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. You have a nice day. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Bye. Any other questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Take care.
All right. You too.
Next question. If we don't have any more questions, I'm going to go ahead and log off. And you guys stay safe and well, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
Thanks, Kim.
Unknown participant is now exiting.